Hey, welcome back to the Alternative Perspectives podcast. And remember, on this podcast, we just look at things from different perspectives. And today's podcast, we're going to look at it from my perspective. This is just my perspective. This is not fact. This is just my opinion. This is my perspective, right? And today I want to deal with this DSS situation. Let me address the Prime Minister of this beautiful Twin Island Republic, right? So, the Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, in 2015, leading up to 2015, he came and he said, listen, the People Partnership was the most corrupt thing the country ever see. They thief how much money, so much corruption, so much this, so much that. So, the people of Trinidad and Tobago say, well, here what's going on? We voting you in because we want no part of them and their corrupt self. And I can't say if they were corrupt or not. If you charge them and lock them up, then I'd say, yeah, they're corrupt. I don't play any politics thing. I don't care about either party. None of them things I care about, right? So you said that they were the most corrupt thing ever. So we voted for you to deal with them. You say you was going to get back the country money. See, that's what you say, right? From these people who thief the money and how much of their friends they pay and whatever. 5 years after, not a cent we get back yet. Not a cent. Right? Alright. All a while up, Ananam Logan a little bit. Jumbie Munilal a little bit. Up to now, nobody in lockup. Up to now, right? Ship a charge here and there. And was the funny thing? All quick to say, well, all they don't know what's going on behind the scenes is you talk about they coming and lock up and they coming and get back money, you know. That's what you say. Alright, cool. So we waiting. Nothing. At no point, you ever flew in anybody to come and deal with any of the corrupted so-called politicians or ex-politicians or opposition members. At no point. You ain't flying nobody. Nobody ain't coming. Alright? Cool. One of the ways or one of the things you fight Mr. Manning with was the Call-a-Heart situation. You talk about Manning and Call-a-Heart. Much corruption within the party and whatever. You wanted to be the leader of the party. Okay, leader of the party. Therefore, as I always say, if all you're on the inside now, then you should be able to find all the documents showing how Call-a-Heart and them get the money and calling people. A matter of fact, if you Call-a-Heart out of the country, call the same people they just call and let them go and look for him outside there. Right? Alright. All this corruption you wanted to fight. People ain't getting locked up. You ain't call nobody to deal with them thing. But you call people from outside to deal with DSS and the quote-unquote police that you think corrupt or whatever the case may be. Alright. Okay. On top of that, is the people money, the taxpayers' money, that these so-called politicians that they claim take and spend and give away. It was not our choice. We had to pay taxes. They take the tax money, they give it away. We had no say in that. But the people who put their money in DSS, that was their choice. Okay. So let me go into, you want to say that DSS is probably something dealing with money laundering. Let me deal with that. Which angle do I want to deal with it first? I will deal with it from this aspect. Right? Let me be clear, let me be outright and frank. Yes. I have put money in DSS. So I want nobody to say, right? Right. I put money there, I have money there. So I have been privy to what's going on the inside, right? In terms of payouts or whatever. Everything was running good. After the first raid, things started to slow down a little bit. After the second raid, things started to slow down even more. Don't talk about, well, no, these raid and them here, I know what, but we hoping for the best. The thing about it is, if it was money laundering, things would not slow down. Because what was happening is that once the registration slowed down, payments started to slow down. Right? Now at the end of the day, people go, oh, You would get paid, or some people will get paid and some will not get paid. They up to we. I don't tell you how to run your house. I don't tell you how to spend your money. Don't tell me how to spend mine. Plain and simple. If I decide to pay there, and if other people decide to pay there, and it didn't work out for them or it didn't work out for me, cool. Let that be between we and DSS. All they don't get involved in that. Because anyhow, let me finish with this money laundering thing. You see, money laundering. That WhatsApp come out with certain people's name, they say might have been involved in the money laundering thing. And these are the people. Now, some of those names and people who are known to be getting contracts from the PNM. Right? Some of these same people. Okay, let me get an example. Perky was one of the names that they come and they say, put money in the DSS to launder the money. Okay, rest in peace, Papa Burks. Right? So, you tell me Berkey and them didn't have a brighter way to launder money if that's what they was doing. I'm just saying. I don't know if that's what they was doing or not. You tell me, Asusu, anyhow, they say that they see Berkey and whoever runners in La Hocketa coming to put money. Alright? So you telling me, Preez is such a ton to a big shot over Berkey and them, that Berkey and them go send millions of dollars with some little boys to job by Preez? So you tell me if Preez and them wanted to do that, they wouldn't just go and meet them fellas over there and meet them and get the money? So you tell me Berkey and them with a chance, a little boy driving up the road in Almere and a Tida with millions of dollars. Well, if I that make sense? It had people who go in my admin house to register, right? And register in the DSS. So, and you tell me Berkey got to send his boys on them? So Preez was bigger and better than Berkey and them then. Alright? Now always say that, you know. Always say people like Berkey and them. Not we. That come out. But if, let me just say, it's Berkey and them and their money and they laundering money. When Berkey passed, Marlene McDonald come out and say that Berkey meant so much to her and the community, and Berkey did so much for the PNM party. So when Berkey was doing for the PNM party, right? How would you say go? He had 2 stacks of money. He had the clean money. Now there's an assumption. I'm not saying this way it is. I question in here. So he had the clean set of money, and he would give the PNM the clean set of money, and then from the dirty pile of money that he want to launder, he would send that by DSS. That's how it worked. I don't know. I'm asking. Is that how it worked? Or I don't know. All the enlightenment about it. So once again, I ain't see the money laundering thing. And as I say, if it was laundering money, when registration slow down, then you could have just be paying people still. Look money, or they go through money laundering. I mean, I think it's much easier to open a mall or open a store, even though nobody ain't going to the store or the mall and launder the money through there. I think that is what might make more sense. I don't know that the patent a susu and how all that drama behind it, but hey, that is all they say, right? Right, so we passed the money laundering thing, right? So you ain't seen how the money laundering thing making too much sense, right? But you know what? People who always don't want to coming up.
I'm not really trying to interfere with the bridge between the rich and the poor, because there's nothing wrong with the rich getting richer, but the poor must come out of poverty. Right?
So well, that's kind of bridging the gap, you know?
That is the equation. It's not a seesaw where one has to go down for the other one to come up. You have to find a way that you encourage the rich to get richer, because in getting richer, they create opportunities for the poor. Opportunity. And of course, if one wants to take advantage of opportunities that are...
Right? Because let me tell you, you could pass on the main road from east to west, probably you could go south too, and you will see, wow, what they say? 30 to 1, 32 to 1, and there's nobody play with boot. Right? And people know who running them thing and them. Where you feel it? You feel it's body they're selling? You feel it's 30 body to $1? No. Right? It's way illegal, way. Right? All these members clubs that are thinking how to tax and how not to tax. But if they tax all they want to tax and everything will be good, or they should have just call Preez and say, Preez, you're going to be doing this susu thing, you got to take $100,000 from me a year for this susu thing. And I want to say again, because people keep on talking about, people who join the shepherd, okay, leave people shepherd. It are things that some people like that you don't like. It are things that you like that other people don't like. And if people get in and if people take the chance. So why do you say people who just play lotto every week shepherd? It are people who play lotto every week for 30 years in Trinidad, across the world, that in countries are lotto, and they do win every week. And they're paying out way more money than you're paying out by priest. That if you happen to lose the money by priest, because up to now nobody really lose money yet, other than when Olatif, well, let me say earlier, but up to when the police and them went to the money, right? Nobody lose no money. It never a complaint about DSS not paying people the money that they deserve. I could understand it might have an issue, but we'll get into that just now, right? People is going to casino. My wife used to work in a casino for years, and she would tell it that people just come there and swipe out the card, swipe out the credit card, 10,000, 20,000 a night. That is not a problem. That is not a problem, eh? At the end of the day, people it has alleged for years that people has loaned money to casinos. All ever tried to fight up with that, but plenty of the big casinos in this country run by Syrians. So that is not a problem. That is not a problem at all. You understand? What they doing, man? The Chinese and them doing what they want, but all they don't want to play with the Chinese Association because you know the kind of way they have. So much so that all they put on a China tongue in tongue. How? I agree, in every major city you have a China tongue. But you could go China and see any Trinidad tongue, make a little street and say Trinidad tongue. No. But so always make the decisions. That don't mean always make good decisions, but always make the decisions. So do all the thing. My thing is, as I say, if people decide that's how they want to take the chance, some people go chuck and play with. That people let's play with 4 draws a day. Every draw they play in 4 or 5 number. I wouldn't do that. But for me, I say, but I go take my little chuck by the DSS. See how it go. That is the gamble I willing to take. Why you want to get involved in that? For the people who say, oh, you go crash, and look at crashing, and blah, blah, blah. As I say, I sit down, I calculate the level of the risk. When I calculate the level of the risk, I wasn't planning for the government to come and get involved in that. But anyhow, let me get a little deeper into it. It's about the difference between criminal law and civil law. If I give a man my money, he's not a business. He's not, because Pre said it, he says a program, right? There's a program, a non-profit program, right? If I give a man my money and it didn't work out, now for me, there's me, I understand the risk in giving somebody my money and it didn't work out. You know what I'm supposed to do? I have to find a lawyer and file a civil suit against this person as a civil issue. So what the government could have done is explain to people the difference between criminal and civil. If you take this, your money and give these people and they don't get it back, tell them pick it up in the civil court, file a civil suit, that's a civil case. All it is run all kind of free ad on TTT, all it is abuse TTT with free ad, and I used to work there and I used to play plenty of the free ad, so don't do me that. So they could have out plenty free ad from the TTPS saying that if you lose your money in a susu or wherever, right? If you lose your money there, file a civil suit. Right? Or look at that, say that. Simple. Right? Now people who run in Ponzi schemes and pyramid schemes, if that's against the law, deal with that. But clearly what Pre is doing is not, well, they can't find it to be a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme. Right? Because if all they had find it to be that, all they would have locked him up for that already. All they're fishing and all they're hunting. And in my opinion, what all they're trying to do is by keep on putting the pressure on them, you get people to stop being part and for people to stop registering and stop joining and make it crash. So when all they do that and make it crash, and let me say, God forbid, all they get through and make it crash, all they go put Pre's now under pressure because of all it works. You understand? You see all the evil out here, right? That's what you call evil. And here what's going on. They're not stopping people, and you know what people do now? People just taking the money and putting it in other susu now. Because people want to get money. It are people who going through tough times and they want to get money. You understand? In our next video, I go talk about my tough times and why I make that decision. If all you want to find out about that, let me know in the comments and I go tell all you, I still be, I don't hide nothing. I see what I have to say. Right? But, nah, everybody else in this country could do what they want. As well, black people do something, is that issue. Right? Is that issue. So, stop playing people for fool now, buddy. Stop playing people for fool out there. Right? Not everybody should put it. As you say, you could outsmart some of the people sometime, but you can't outsmart all the people all the time. But is it that all of this is a smoke screen? Is it? Let me ask you why. Or let me put it here like this. This one, listen to this one carefully, will you? Listen to this one carefully. At a point in Trinidad and Tobago, we had no local cases of COVID-19. All the cases were imported cases which went directly into quarantine when they reached. They were from the plane straight into quarantine. 80-something days, no local cases. Right? Some weirdos go try to say it had somewhere hidden, wherever. Then all of a sudden, a woman pop up, some person pop up in Sawa or some kind of thing, so went by this bank, by that bank, and then they start to check and realize, okay, some Spanish who come with COVID. If I'm not mistaken, the CMO made a statement that it's possible that this second wave would have started from these people who came in illegally, who came in through the illegal borders. Right? Yeah? All right. Who's responsible for protecting them borders? People go say, oh, the Coast Guard and them must be running racket. From my understanding, and I'm saying from my understanding, based on what I was told, and I'm not going to say who tell me, because at the end of the day, you know, people like police, army, Coast Guard, they can't talk against the country. So it didn't make sense. But so let me just say, it's alleged. So we don't go to no jam or no court thing. It's alleged, right, that there was no vessel patrolling the waters for 2.5 weeks. Now, the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard has 9 vessels. 2, which it is normally just used to shuttle to and from, and 7 major vessels that they could put outside with men on to stay to patrol outside there. It had 2 running. Earlier when COVID started, it went down to 1. Then the last vessel ended up with some difficulties and they had to pack it up. It had no vessel out there. Whose fault is that? Whose responsibility is that? Why we reached down to 1 vessel out of 9? Or let me just say the 7 that they would usually use. Why they reach down to that? What kind of battery and thing both not working for? That is what we reach down to? And whose fault is that? That is citizens' fault? Okay. So, the Minister of National Security, the Prime Minister, all this going on, all they should have been fixing them both and maintaining them both long time. Didn't do that. The borders end up porous, get penetrated, COVID reach, start to spread. Over 100 and something people dead right now. Tell me, if that didn't happen and the borders were secure, right? You telling me that them people would not be living? Those people who have died in this second wave, those lives are on you all, you know. Those lives are on you all, you know. Alright? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing PNM, and I'm not in the politics thing. I don't care about them thing, I don't care about no politics. You understand what I'm saying? Right? But you go say, if I would have voted for the next party, if the next party might have done a better job, I don't know, and I wasn't voting for them neither. You understand? But at the end of the day, when they bring up the DSS and cause all this bacchanal and take front page, people wouldn't focus and study them thing now going on. They wouldn't study that if this second wave didn't kick up, it would have still have a little carnival. The artists would have still be able to eat a little food. You understand? The little vendors, right? The makeup artists, the hairdressers, the nail techs, the mass band and them, the DJs, right? The mic men would have still be able to eat a little food and live. But now, because of all the neglect and carelessness will allow the Coast Guard vessels and them to go down. It go on down, right? Borders end up unsecure. And people penetrate, they come, they go going on. A lot of people don't know the history of Cuba, but let me give you a little insight. Che Guevara and Fidel Castro went into Cuba illegally behind closed doors, if you want to call it like that, right? And took over Cuba. So let me just say it wasn't just COVID had come, it was people who was coming to take over Trinidad and Tobago. What would happen? Right? People died from COVID in the second wave or the second spike, or whatever you want to call it. You understand? People died, businesses died, right? People careers dying because all they neglect to see about the borders, right? And let me tell you, that's fine. People make mistakes, but come out like big people and say sorry. Come out like big men and say, yeah, but we fall short there. But if you can't come out and do that, I can't have no respect for none of all you. None whatsoever. Right? Come out like big people and say, yeah, boy, that was my bad, that was we fall short. We didn't realize that's what was going on there, or people in Coast Guard wasn't reporting them as they should have. People will want to say, well, boy, but the Coast Guard and them would have run the racket anyway. Listen, if all the Minister of National Security, if you're in charge of the Coast Guard, and there are people running racket in it, that's still on you. That's still on you. You have to make sure the people you put under you, to deal with the people below them is the right set of people. And if they're not doing the job properly, you have to get new people to do the job. You understand? Because the same way, when, let me just say the next party was in power, and it had people under Ms. Prasad Bissessa, or Mrs. Prasad Bissessa, sorry, that was corrupt. You blame her for the corruption, right? And it's right, because if she chose the people, and she had them people there, and they corrupt, she had to take the blame. You bring them there. So it's the same thing. You understand? So if all you can come out like big people and apologize to that. But as I say, this DSS thing is a smoke screen for all the rest of the things that are going on in the country. Mr. Colm Imbert, right? He said that we're looking to go with the gas, to deal with the gas prices in a way where we facing the international price, the international market for gas. I remember back in 2012 or 2013, I was in New York and pull in the gas station and full up the gas tank and pay I think about $70 to fill the tank. Just imagine that 70 by 7, $490 in gas. If the oil price is to go back up to what it was back then. So the same time we waiting and we happy that the oil price could go up so Trinidad and Tobago could be happy again. We sad because we can't pay for it on the pump. If all think that fair, okay, cool. Let us look at the foreign news market, right? For cars and whatnot. This is the second time the PNM come and shorten or lessen the age of the vehicles that are supposed to come in. They claim, 1, too much cars on the road, 2, too much money being spent in foreign exchange to buy these cars. Let me deal with the too much money. Let me deal with too much cars on the road first. Right? And this is a no way to get the PP props. Right? I get Jack the jacket. Jack Warner implemented something a few years ago where you could drive on the bus route between certain hours if you have 3 people in a car or more. You could do the same thing on the highway, implement a carpool lane. Right? You prefer to deal with the problem by oppressing people than to just come up with wise ways. But I mean, we're realizing that there are much bright people in Parliament right now. So I could understand why you wouldn't want to pressure yourself into thinking about bright ways to deal with these things. Right? So come up with carpool ideas, different things. If public transport was extremely reliable, everybody would not think that they had to own a car. I have been to New York countless times. And instead of jumping in the car to drive, because public transport is so easy and so accessible, I had no problem jumping on a bus, jumping on a train, go where I have to go, jump out the train, jump on our next bus, go out, because it's reliable, it's on time, and I know I get where I need to go and come back. Safely too. I never had any issues in that regard, right? Second, let me do the price. Let me do with the foreign exchange part of it. So you're telling me that people who buy an aqua for, it's an aqua selling on SBT right now for, was it 6,000, 7,000 US, 8,000 US. Might be the highest quality, we just saying. Let me just say you spend 10,000 US on an aqua compared to people who buying Benz, BMW. What's the price in US? How much US are you using to buy them cars? How much? Let me be real. Right? You're using way more US to buy brand new cars to bring them and sell. I remember in about 4 or 5 years ago, and look how long ago that was, right? I went to register a car I brought in for myself, a foreign used car. And like I said, about 8:15 in the morning, I was second in the line to register. The inspection line was for foreign used cars. I was second in the line. The line for brand new cars was back out by the back out onto Ricing Road, wrapping around all the where they do the reverse, the turns and whatnot when they learn to drive. For new cars, from the testing point by the ramp, straight back out, So that means there's way more brand new cars were being sold. And if you check it now, check the statistics, but you see they like to play on people's mind because they know people don't know. So they like to treat everybody like they stupid. And that is where my problem is. You could call me black, you could call me fat. You could call me all kind, but don't call me stupid. Don't call me stupid. Call me all kind of thing. Right? You could call me coolie, you could call me nigger, you could call me any of them thing. Don't call me stupid. Right? It's way more new cars are being sold in Trinidad and Tobago than foreign used cars. That cost way more money. So it's way more US to buy them cars. Let me deal with all you again, Mr. Colm Imbert. Right? I tell you all you, stop treating people like they stupid out here. Stop it. Right? You come to talk about the gas subsidy in the last budget. But you're talking about the gas subsidy, but here what we know with you. You're hitting where, well, over the past so much years, the subsidy was this amount of, so much billions. And you're right, it probably is that. But why do I point out over the last couple years where people started bringing hybrid vehicles and where the subsidy was removed, how much time? Remember you talk about removing the subsidy and how much you remove and you laugh at me because we didn't riot. Because the price of gas went up 3 times and they say you could do that 4 times and they laugh at me.
The price of fuel by 15%. I then realized that was not enough. I came back again in April and I raised it again by 15%. And I came back again just a few weeks ago and raised it by another 15%. They haven't rioted yet. So I might raise it by another 15% in April of next year.
I mean, when I realized he did that and people in Trinidad and Tobago didn't riot or didn't, call him out or put some pressure on him for that, I realized that, sorry to say, this country gone. When I talk about it on radio, I remember I got a letter because it was the PNM radio station, it was the government radio station, and apparently they can't talk about them thing. But anyhow, I don't get into that. So, you talk about the subsidy over the period of time. But you're not talking about within the years that hybrid vehicles have been on the road. Hybrid vehicles are known to use at least 30% less gas, at least 30% less fuel. So that is automatically 30% dropping on the subsidy. But instead of talking about the last period, you decide to stretch it over how much years when the government was standing the bunks with most of the subsidy. Because they want to pull wool over people's eye, boy. Or they wicked, boy. Or they wicked. Right? Why didn't talk about that? I could tell you, I had a regular car, I have a hybrid. And I could tell you from experience. Right? And for me, They say 30%. For me, it seemed like more of a 50% savings. So if it's 50%, we're working with 30 based on what they say, right? But let me just say, if it's 50%, like 50%, if plenty of people had hybrid vehicles, or you inspire more people to bring hybrid vehicles, like 50% of the subsidy already. And if more people had hybrid vehicles, then they can remove the subsidy as you're doing, and people okay. But now you want to put back on taxes on the hybrid vehicles, right? And you want to decrease the age, so you want people to bring more expensive vehicles. Because you know what I will do? Let me tell you what I will do. For the people who don't understand what it is. What that will do is will force people, because you know when they go to the bank to take a loan for a foreign use vehicle, for one, they say they have to come with a higher down payment. And also they will say, listen, this vehicle, we only giving you the loan for a shorter period of time with foreign use vehicles. With a new vehicle, they give you 7.5, and I heard up to about 8 years now. Foreign use vehicles is going to get 3 years, 4 years, sometimes 5 years. Obviously, the shorter the period of the loan, the higher the installment. Plenty people can afford high installments. So, and if the vehicle is almost the same price as a new vehicle, then better go and buy a new vehicle. But who own all them companies with them new vehicles and them? You understand? What they doing, people, boy? All the wicked, boy, all they trying to play like all out here to help people. Yeah, nah. As I say, me bashing the PNM. I think, in my opinion, the PNM is a great institution. I think the PNM has a lot of they have a lot of experience in politics, right? And I will never take that away from the PNM. Never. No day. They have more experience than everybody else who in the game. As I say, I don't vote. So you mean voting for no PNM? I say if I had a vote, I'll probably get this young boy, Nikolai Edwards. I'll say I'll probably give him a little blind because he seemed progressive. He seemed like a youth who had on China thing. Probably. And that'll be the first time I ever vote. But obviously, I had to hear more from him and see what he's doing. So, what they doing, boy? Right? What they doing? Stop take people for clown. Stop take people for fool now, boy. Right? Fix them thing. All them people in the second wave of this COVID thing who died, in my opinion, and this is in my opinion, right? Is on all here. This is my perspective, right? As I say, I try not to get into this, and I prefer doing little interviews and talk to people, find out their perspective. But you see how I see things going right now? Things going a bit haywire. And Trinidad and Tobago, they have to stand up. They have to stand up. Because it has certain people who seem like they don't care about all this.
People don't like, let me tell you, there are people don't like when all you come up, and Rowley is one of them.
So, let's stop fool people now, boy. Right? If everybody else want to see it, I seen it, and I know a few people seen it too. This is my perspective. Nalo, this is your Alternative Perspectives podcast. A different view. This is how I seen it from my side of things. Right? At the end of the day, I think if things continue this way, I think we need our next election. If things have to continue this way, I think we need our next election. Unfortunately, I don't think it have any party. I don't think it have any party that worthy right now. What I would say though, if Penelope Beckles go up for the leader of the PNM, she has my support. I dealt with her once or twice. I don't know her personally. And she was a very genuine and kind person in me dealing with her. I think we did some DJ thing back in the day for something in a remand, right? She seemed like a very genuine, very kind-hearted woman. So, probably, if she's in charge, I might see things differently. But as I say again, if we had secure the borders, if we had make sure the Coast Guard, because now we had this problem with Venezuela, you know. We had this problem with Venezuela since when? Last year, June. Since last year, June, we had this bacchanal with Venezuela. The people trying to come across. If last year, June, we had that problem, and all they didn't make sure that, boy, once Venezuela under pressure, we have enough resources to fight that or to manage our borders, then we'll slack, boy. We'll slack. You understand? We'll slack. It has so much more I can talk about. But you know what happen? I know most people attention span short, so and I done reach nearly half an hour already. Right? So you know what to do. Like, subscribe, share the Alternative Perspective Podcast. The Alternative Perspectives Podcast. I'm Nalo. This is just my perspective. Go easy. Much love. TNT. Big respect. Out.